Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today is the 21st of November 2018. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few instruments. But as always, before we start looking at that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, so now then let's have a look at the charts. Now the first one I want to start looking at is the German index, which is the DAX. Now certainly, as you all aware, yesterday we had a bit of a sell-off in the equity markets. I mean, probably the word a bit off is a bit too weak, but nevertheless this is what happened here. And when I was looking last time at DAX, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on the possible break here below the 11,315 zone. If I jump back into the daily chart quickly, you can see that the 11,315 kind of held the price nicely, but on the 19th, on Monday, we had a break below that. Then we managed to reach the 11,215 zone, and kind of we then opened yesterday's candle with a gap here, actually, and kind of skipping this 11,215 level. But the most important here is that this level here, the October low, has been tested again, the 11,050. And if I jump back into the 4-hour chart, you can see that this is what's happening right now. So now, of course, all eyes are on this level, because if this gets broken, I mean, this is of course not looking good for the indices. I mean, as you probably are aware, the US indices have again closed in the red for the year. Certainly that's the case for DAX. I mean, that has been in the red for the year for quite a while now, since probably around the mid of this year. So what we could look at here right now, if we get a break here below the 11,050 and then eventually start breaking the psychological 11,000 level, well, you could in a way keep your eyes on this 10,825 zone. Now this area here, this potential area of support, last time was tested around here, around the December time of 2016. So it had a nice pop through this, because this area here, the 10,825, acted as a very nice area of resistance here in around October time, and then November as well, of 2016. But then in December it got broken to the upside here, and from where the index kind of rallied higher here. So now, I mean, if, like I said, if this gets broken soon, the 11,050 level gets broken, this could potentially open the path towards this next area of support near the 10,825 area, approximately there. So keep your eyes on that one. Let's see how that plays out. But this is, like I said, this is the level that we're going to be keeping a close eye on if this gets broken, if this 11,050 level gets broken. On the upside, well, if this of course gets back above here, above the 11,215, certainly from the very short-term perspective, we could in a way aim for the 11,315 zone again. And if that doesn't hold, I mean, we could see further acceleration here, a further move higher. Now, what could be interesting here is that if, let's say, that happens, and if we see all these, see this rally back up here, especially above the 11,315 level, and this could open the path towards this area here, this quite important area of resistance near the 11,680 zone, approximately there. You could, in a way, round it up towards the 700. So we can say that the 11,700 zone. So this is where we could kind of target this could be our next target, let's put it that way, but only if we get a nice pop here above the 11,315. So if that happens, then we could see a bit of consolidation here. So we could see this range here between these two levels. So yep, it could be quite interesting for those range traders who love trading these kind of formations. So yep, for now, guys, be very cautious, especially near the 11,000 level. Let's see how that plays out. Jumping into Brent oil, let me just quickly show you the daily chart on this one. So strong bearish candle here yesterday. We can see that managed to break some key areas of support. Now, when I was talking about this one in one of my previous videos here, I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 6460 level, and because a nice good break below that could potentially open the path towards these other two key support levels, and they just played out very nicely here. We can see that so yesterday we managed to break the 6460, took out the 6320, and then eventually got held near the 6170 zone, so which was marked here by the lows of February here of this year, February of this year. So it acted as a very nice area for a little bounce here. We can see that the commodity is now kind of getting held near this 6320 zone. This is going to be very interesting to watch because let me just jump into the 4-hour here, because this is, like I said, this is where it's kind of stuck here right now. And if this pushes back up here, then we could, in a way, test the 6460 level. But if that gets broken, we could probably see maybe a climb back up here, potentially maybe testing this downside resistance line that has been running here since around the 9th of October this year. So keep your eyes on that one, of course. Like I said, keep your eyes on this level, on the 6460. That could be our gateway towards, like, back up here towards higher levels. But of course, first we need to see this nice push away from the 6320 zone where the commodity is kind of trading right now. If this, of course, gets broken, let's say if the 6170 level gets broken and we see this one traveling further down, of course this could confirm a forthcoming lower low, since it's reversal from the beginning of October. And the level to watch here below this, now this is where it could be interesting as well. This is what we're going to target here. We're going to target approximately around this area, around the 61 zone. Let me just quickly put that on the chart. There we go. So you can see that in the past here, and the November time and then December time, it acted as a very nice area of support here, and that's, of course, I'm talking about last year. So the 61 level could be that area to watch if we get a break here below the 6170. Certainly that's only about 70 points away, and we understand that oil can do these such moves and probably in 1 hour, but yep, still keep your eyes on that one. It's a very good area of potential support here, and then we'll just take it from there and see what it wants to do. Does it want to go further down, or actually this will see it as a nice area of support? So, but for now, be very careful here. At the moment, probably judging by this picture that we're seeing here right now, I'd probably recommend to stay put and just wait for either a nice push towards the, let me just quickly put that on the chart here, either a nice push towards the 6460 and then eventually its break, or of course the potential break, of course, which could open the path towards the test of this downside resistance line, or a drop below the yesterday's lows near the 6170 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. One pair that I really wanted to show you quickly, guys, and that's the EURNOK. So the euro against the Norwegian krone. You can see that the euro is kind of rallying nicely against this currency. But as you can see, I mean, even though the euro is kind of slightly on the weaker side, especially from yesterday, yesterday got hit. The euro against the US dollar got hit, but you can see that's not the case against the Norwegian krone. So the Norwegian krone kind of remains the weaker one, and we have recently received the Norwegian unemployment rate. Certainly that was expected that it would be a non-mover, but this is something still interesting to watch, because as you can see from the chart here, we're now currently sitting around the 9.7510 zone, approximately there. So in a way, we could see maybe a bit of a retracement here going back down. We could see maybe a test of the 9.7360. That is, of course, if we get a nice further break here and further push away from this 9.7510. I do have a line here that is the 9.7350 area. Certainly something to watch out for as well, but probably if this is going to travel a little bit lower, might as well kind of retrace a little bit more and maybe reach the 9.7360 zone. So let me just kind of zoom in here a little bit, guys. So sorry, in the 9.7230, and this is what I'm talking about. So I do apologize, guys, for this confusion a little bit. My levels are a bit too close, so let me just zoom in here. So in a way, what we could see here is if this level here, if the 9.7230 kind of gets holds, we could see maybe a rebound here and a push back up. Certainly we do have some good potential areas of resistance here on the top here, especially this 9.8050, which was marked here by the highest point of September, from which kind of the pair reversed and moved lower, and now, like I said, we could in a way test that again, but probably we could see a bit of correction here to the downside first, and then a push back up again. So keep your eyes on this one. If this suddenly starts dropping and heavily and breaks the 9.6930 zone, well, you could see maybe a bit more declines here, potentially aiming for this 9.6415. So yeah, guys, a pair that you probably don't look very often at, but nevertheless quite an interesting one, and we're always trying to find value everywhere. Euro CHF, the very interesting one, very good one. So before kind of starting this video, we were still hanging around here near the 113.10. And you can see that kind of it's having a nice push now back to the upside here. We're now of course aiming for the 1.1340 area, approximately there. A nice good pop above that could potentially open the path towards slightly higher levels. Let me just adjust this a little bit, guys. I mean, this is kind of a little bit of an old chart that I was looking at. So yep, we could in a way start looking at the 113.85 area approximately here, but that's only if we get a nice pop here above the 113.40. So good potential area here for a test, but again, like I said, this one's going to be the first one that we're going to be keeping an eye on, the 113.40. Certainly some of you could say that well, it's currently finding like near resistance of this low here, basically where we had the low here. Now this resistance, it's acting as a nice resistance, but of course, I mean, now as you can see, it's kind of slightly trying to break through that. You could in a way keep an eye on this level as well, the 113.30, but if this, like I said, we do prefer the 113.40 level to see what it wants to do with that one. If it gets a nice push further up, that's wonderful for the bulls. We could see this pair traveling a little bit higher again. So on the downside, well, of course, we're going to still monitor the 113.10, and of course the 113 level itself, the recent lows here, and the 113.035, something like that. But in a way, you could like start looking at just the 113 level, because a nice good break below the 113 could open the path towards the 112.80, which was marked here by the low of the 28th of September. That is correct. So yeah, keep your eyes on that one, guys. GBPUSD. certainly this one is a very tricky one. It seemed like it wants to push lower. It managed to break below the 127.95, but found support near this little area around the 127.75 zone. So as you can see, it kind of nicely bounced back to the upside. So where we're going to keep an eye on, we're just going to shift this area a little bit lower here, and we're going to keep a close eye on this 127.75, because a nice good break below this could potentially open the path towards the 127.20, or even the lowest point here of October, which is near the 126.95 zone. So in a way, if let's say this gets broken, if the 127.75 area gets broken, then like I said, it might as well actually travel all the way here to test the October lows. For the upside here, for the very short-term upside, I would probably say we need to see a nice good pop above the 128.85, and only then we'll probably consider slightly higher levels. But because we do have this downside resistance line, this very short-term downside resistance running here from the peak of the 7th of November, this could in a way get held here, but of course, if this pair gets towards this area, we'll just reevaluate everything there and see how this performs further. But like I said, for the upside, we're keeping a close eye on the 128.85. And the last pair I want to quickly touch on, and that's USDCAD. Yesterday had a nice pop here, so the upside support line, this kind of short-term upside support line running from the 1st of October, continues to hold. We had a nice pop above the 132.90 level here. Sorry, I do apologize, the 132.65 level here. We managed to break that to the upside and managed to reach the 132.90, but then actually managed to break that as well. So in a way, this is where the pair is now retracing to, the 132.90. If this continues to hold, then we could see maybe a reversal. Maybe we could see the bulls jumping in here again and pushing this pair a little bit higher. Let me just kind of drag this one a little bit here. So the level that we're keeping a close eye on here is the 133.80 zone. So the 133.80 acted as a very strong area of resistance here back in June time, so the highest points of June. So a very good potential area of resistance, but again, we need to see a nice good rejection here, either from the 132.90, or even if it's going to break here slightly below, still not all is lost for the bulls. We could see them jumping in here near the 132.65 if that of course doesn't get broken. So if it continues to hold, then yep, we could see the bulls picking up the pace here and pushing this pair a little bit higher. If this starts breaking, the 132.65 starts breaking, we could see a bit of a slide here lower, maybe even testing the 132 zone again. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to join me later on in my Traders Tea Time, and that's 14:15 GMT time, so yep, feel free to join in and we'll have a look at some other charts. Thank you very much, and bye bye.